Welcome everybody. It's September the 7th, 2014, and welcome to Moonscapes. I've been missing in action for a while. Have a few things going on, and it's taken some of my time away from observing the moon. Number one, I just made a nice trip out to Idaho Falls and visited a good friend of mine. He is the young man, I call him a young man, he's 10 years younger than I am, so that's young. And he's a radiologist out in Idaho Falls, and he has an exceptional observatory. He has a plane wave CDK 24-inch in I believe it's a 14-foot dome. Everything professionally built. And I spent a week out there, and we did quite a bit of work to get it up and running. And we did finally get it running, so we could do some first light testing on it, and we got a first good images from the scope. And since I come home to Connecticut, he's finished up the final touches, and the scope is ready to go for scientific work. It is a 24-inch telescope. This is the young man, Jim Edlin his name is, and he and I spent many hours in my observatory down in Thomaston before I came to the retirement center here. Right now we're on the crater Aristarchus. I am using a I take that back. I'm using a 6.5 millimeter Meade EDH eyepiece. I am still waiting for my Meade 4.5 high power eyepiece. I do not know where that is. That I've been waiting on for quite some time, and they say it's on back order, but it's on its way. Well, not on its way, but on back order. So I have no idea how long that is going to be before I get it. I'd love to put that to work on the crater Plato, as I've mentioned in the past. I'd love to try to image some of those crater pits in the bottom of that crater. And I think with that eyepiece, a 2.5 or a 2x Barlow, and a good steady night, and I think we stand a fair chance of doing that. But that would not happen tonight because we've got some real lousy seeing here. I'm trying my best, and I'm not having much luck. I'm probably a day late. I like this region very much. This is the region that has the cinder cones at Morius Hills, and they're just back behind Aristarchus. I don't know why this mount is drifting on me. This is strange. This mount is, I'm using my Orion. I must have something that's quite a bit out of balance there that I forgot to check, because this generally does not do this to me. And just look at those. Let's put this on auto for a second. Doesn't do much. Let's take it off auto. I'm talking about autofocus. And let's see if I can get a little bit of focus. I have just got a horrible seeing here tonight. Not going to be able to do an awful lot, but I wanted to get something up on my site. It's been a little while since I've actually put a video up on. So let's zoom along the what's left of the Terminator. We're only about 2 days away from full. There is a very interesting. Boy, this thing is drifting, and this mount should not be doing that. I don't know why it is. I've got another little project I'm going to be doing after I sign off tonight, and I'm going to have to check the balance of the scope. I think it's off. There, I wanted to home in on that crater right there with it looks like craterlets in the in the pocket of the crater there. It does not look like a central peak. And of course I've left my light somewhere and I can't find it. I don't have my moon atlas out here, and I wanted to try to locate just what crater that is. I believe that's Grimaldi right there. That's that mar that's just in front of the crater. And if it is, we're out of luck, because this map kind of goes around the corner there, and it does not give good detail in that area. So we're going to have to go with that as an unnamed crater. If I had my good moon atlas out here hooked up on my other computer, we could figure what that is pretty easily. Here's my light right here. Shut this other light off and let me see if I can get a better look at what that is. If that's Grimaldi, and let's see, coming down this way, crater number 252. As you can tell, I'm using a paper chart here, which is a little difficult to do. According to this, it's Riccioli, Riccioli. I wouldn't trust that, though. That's a tough region of the moon to work off of a paper map. Let's see, that is right next. Yeah, that's sitting right next to Grimaldi. Very well could be. But anyway, let's see, what else has been going on? That last video I put, I did publish a book, and as I stated, it was basically written for my family. It's a memoir, autobiography, if you will, and it just, the way things worked out, it just turned out it was a little easier to actually publish it than to go to Staples and have Staples make me up some prints and sell it that way. I just happened to run into a good deal, and by using my own editor, that's what saved me the money, and was able to have me get the book published. A good friend of mine knows a Yale graduate, class 2014, who majors in copy editing, and she was willing to take on the project. I had to pay her, of course, but much less than I would have had to pay the publisher to edit it. And of course, being retired, she was even willing to take several payments on it. So it enabled me to publish that book. The title of the book, by the way, is called Waxing and Waning, a Memoir of an Amateur Astronomer. And that just about says it all. The waxing is the growing up part of the book, which is about the first half of the book. And the waning is my ending years as I am now, doing these lunar photos, or lunar videos, or whatever we want to call them. Something else that I've just run into is my son just, I have one son that just moved down to Ocala, Florida. There's a very interesting crater. I love that crater. That is Shikard. That is the very large crater just above center now. It's two-toned, dark on the left, dark on the right, and bright gray in the center. That is the crater Shikard. I have one son down in Ocala, Florida, and I have another one who just rented a real nice house 1/4 of a mile from me. And I'm right now in back of my facility with all the lights because I'm working on the moon. But he's up on the hilltop, out of the town lights. We're above the town lights. And I can actually do some CCD imaging from up there again, like I used to with my old observatory. I just set the telescope up just like I do here for imaging the moon. Only I put my CCD camera on there, and I can go back to taking some nice images of the sky. So I'm going to be kind of splitting my times from taking images of the sky, images of the moon, and doing some deep sky work also again. And as I mentioned, I do have this severe back problem, so it's really biting into how much time I can put into this. It's an effort to set this equipment up and do this each night. So, and unfortunately, I have after my visit to my sons down in Florida, I have a sit-down meeting with my back surgeon and a possible another back surgery, which I'm not looking forward to. But we'll see how that goes. If that happens, that'll lay me up for a few months, and I won't be able to do anything. But we'll see how that goes. It's part of getting old, and as my primary care doctor says, it's better than the alternative, and I guess he's right. I'm still here. As I told my back surgeon, if it wasn't for the problems I had with my back, I still feel like I'm 18. It's a shame. I'm doing well physically otherwise, and I turned 70 on the 18th of this month. And I feel great, except for my back. So I guess I really shouldn't complain, because there's a lot of people out there that have it a lot worse than I do. And we'll move along here. Let me see, that crater I may be able to pin down. Let me see. That was, let me go back to where Chicard was. Chicard I remember by heart. Yeah, there's Chicard. That's right on the edge of the field. Okay, then we come over above that. There's a big crater next to Chicard. I gotta find Chicard. There's Chicard. Okay, there's boy, these craters really get bunched together on this map up in this area. It's really, really tough to see. Let's see. I can't really tell. That's right on the very edge too. Let's see. I'm not 100% certain. Boy, that is not even shown on this map. You've got to remember, the moon liberates, what they call it. In other words, it wobbles slightly in its orbit. Some months you get a real good shot of one side, and this very crater here that we're looking at, that's just touching the bottom of the frame now, next month, that may be actually rotated around the corner of the moon, and we might not even be able to see it. So these paper maps that are put out are put out as an average, and sometimes when you're working with detail right along the very edge of these, they don't give you the names of a lot of these craters. It's like I say, I really need that other map up and running. Let's play around with some of the settings. I'm a little disappointed with the view I'm getting here. That's too bright. We'll turn it down. That's a little better. We're really fighting with the seeing here tonight, though. It's really bad. There, it almost looks like, look at right there. It almost looks like it's right out of focus. And again, that's just, we had a very, very sunny, beautiful day here today, but of course the sun soaks up the, that's a little better focus. The sun rays, heats up the ground, and on these cool nights it releases that heat from the day, and unfortunately this is what you get. You get this wavering effect. And as I've told you in the past, a very hazy night is actually much better for observing the moon and planets. The detail will settle down and appear much, much sharper. But then if you're a deep sky observer, like I am sometimes with my CCD imaging, you're not going to be happy, because it doesn't allow you to reach deep into the galactic fields and study galaxies and such. You want those cold, crisp nights where the ground is cold too, and the Earth isn't releasing that heat, and everything stays nice and crisp. That's better for deep sky objects. I'm not going to go real long on this tonight. As I say, I have one other project I want to do a little test on. It'll be offline, but let's see if I can just work my way around this edge of the moon here a little bit. And, it's unfortunate. We're really a day late. I was hoping to get a good look at the Moreas Hills, but that is not going to happen. The Moreas Hills are those cinder cones that are over into the crater Moreas on the edge of the moon. And unfortunately, if you don't get them right away, they can only be probably no more than several 100 feet high. When the sun first comes up on them, you can really see the little, they look like little tiny mountain bumps on there. And actually, in just a matter of hours, those bumps tend to disappear. The shadows get shorter and shorter and disappear, and the cinder cones themselves disappear. And that's a good indication that they're not very tall. And I think I told you one time before, the Apollo program, there were 3 remaining flights. We went through 17, and there were supposed to be Apollo 18, 19, and 20. And one of those was targeted to go to the Moreas Hills area. It was too bad that the mission was canceled. It would have been a real interesting exploration. There's Mare Crisium with our famous crater Proculus. That's the one with that spray pattern there, where the meteor hit at a low impact and sprayed out the material in all directions. Well, all directions, but behind. It landed at such a sharp angle that it pushed the material out in one side, and on the other side it left pretty much all alone. Another thing we're doing tonight, and it seems to be working well, is one, I am working completely off the battery power, internal battery power of the computer. And I just knocked my mouse on the floor. Okay. And the other thing we're doing is I'm using that better cooling pad that I bought at Staples. And so far, it's doing the trick. I don't know if it's going to continue to work for me, but so far it has. And you can see we can zoom around this side of the moon all night long, and we're just not going to see much. We're just too close to full moon. I missed the Moreas Hills by a day. I should have been out here last night. That was a bird, folks, that just went flying by. I know there are some of you out there that will dispute me on that, but that's my opinion anyway. Let's see. Well, I have this camera on the telescope in a very weird configuration tonight. I'm having trouble controlling going around the moon. There we go. Okay, there's what I was after. There's our friend, the crater Plato. Now, there is no way I am going to pick up any crater pits on the floor. Number one, it's way too near full moon. So we have really no shadows to work with. And number two is the scene is absolutely horrible. But we will zoom in and take a look at it, and we'll see. So you can see that wavering. It almost looks like you're looking at a coin in the bottom of a pool. It's just wavering and moving around. So there's no way you're going to see sharp detail on a night like that. I'm trying to. There we go. Get it back over here. Oops, wrong way. Bring it up. And let's now zoom. Keep zooming a little more. We still have some more zoom, so we can get in a little closer. But no, there's just no way. The scene is absolutely horrible. I can play with the contrast until the cows come home, but it's not going to make any difference. That's way overblown. There's a good exposure there. No, there's just nothing there. Even the structure in the walls is very, very difficult to see tonight. So we'll complete our little trip around the edge of the moon. And there's Sinus Iridium, that nice U-shaped pattern. And then we get some nice detail right along the very edge. Look at the back edge. There is a beautiful crater. And I'm sorry, folks, but I'm not going to be able to get the name of that. Let me take a stab at it, but I know this map is not going to give me a crater name that close to the limb of the moon. Let's see, how close are we to Sinus Iridium? There's Sinus Iridium right there, the base of it. And that crater is, let's see, oh, wrong way. And back here, and up, there it is. Okay, so it's just off of Sinus Iridium back in that area. Let me check this paper map. Now, orientate the map the way the moon is in the telescope. And there's Plato, and just, well, here's a crater that could possibly be it. It's a huge, huge crater here marked on, yeah, I'm pretty sure this one may be right. This one we may have nailed. That, according to this map, is Herschel J. Generally, when they put a letter like that, that means there's several smaller craters nearby, and then they give them letters. It also could be named just for John Herschel. But look at the wavering. Oh my gosh, that's just a shame that we've got that much distortion in the atmosphere. That is just absolutely beautiful. Let me back off the power just a little bit. That might improve the seeing quality a little bit. Of course, we're not going to be as close to the crater. But there it is. If that crater were on the surface of the moon, more towards the middle, so we could see it at sunrise and sunset, that would be one of the most beautiful craters on the moon. That's absolutely beautiful. Well, folks, I really don't have much else I can do tonight. There just isn't that much available on the moon for us to work. I missed by a day. I should have been out here. Let me see, what was the weather here like last night? I think we actually had thunder showers roll here through last night. So yeah, we would not have gotten anything done. Yeah, so we're stuck with tonight, and we're a day late. We just missed all the nice detail. But anyway, we did get out here and get a look at some of that stuff. Now, look at that scene. See how it? If you watch it for a few minutes, that has to be very much like a visual observer. You can wait for moments of good seeing, and it'll settle down. Like right now, it's pretty good. You can see that crater really, really well. One thing I do want to do, and we'll see if maybe I can get it in the next cycle. Believe it or not, already we're coming into the fall season, and as you know, we get into the depths of the winter months, and I don't do this because even using the car, it's just ridiculous with the cold. But very, very early on, when I did my first couple of videos, I talked about the mappers of the moon, and I kind of want to revisit that story. Maybe some of you will join me since I did that. I might be able to do a little better job of it. There's one fellow in particular, a fellow by the name of Krieger. I think his first name is Johann. I got to check that. But he developed a method that made beautiful, beautiful prints and maps. And I just found the mappers of the 1800s fascinating people and a fascinating subject. I mean, just trying to draw the moon with a good telescope with all this detail by hand, it's just unbelievable. I find their story fascinating, and we'll revisit that a little bit in the future. But I guess for now, folks, that's going to have to be it. There just isn't an awful lot of detail up there tonight. Good to get back together with you again, and we'll be doing something again pretty soon. And until then, folks, good health, clear skies, and we'll be seeing you pretty soon. Take care, guys.